This has autobiographical short stories. About half of them are from my life after Baba and feature him prominently directly, and about half are from life before that, just real milestones in my life. And Nashawan wrote a foreword for it. Let's see. So this is let me set the stage for this. I lived in this. This is from a story called Adieu Rivendell. Rivendell for me was Myrtle Beach. I had lived in Myrtle Beach for 6 years in the 90s, and I had lived there, I don't know how many months in the 80s, maybe as long as a year altogether. No, more than a year, yeah. And I lived there in the 70s too. I would just get bounced out after a while. But I had always just wanted to live there, but I guess I wasn't ready. Ostensibly, I was just too lonely and I couldn't find a girlfriend. Everybody had been warned off me. And I decided, it says this in the story, but I said I was going to have to leave. I would leave God to find God. So I needed to find God where I was going. And I went to my hometown, St. Louis, Missouri. Tried to stay with my parents, but that didn't last for long. And I went to live in a sort of garret in the Bohemian section called the Central West End. And I thought I was going to try to be a professional writer or artist, but that I was doing painting and it wasn't. I just realized that wasn't what Baba wanted, and I went out and got a job as a delivery courier. And I started putting myself on what later came to seem like a ladder of steps I needed to take to balance my life more than it had been. And so this is a landmark experience. I don't know if I realized it was, but I'll go into it later. You'll see as we do the painting and the song that I'll add to this. So this is a walk I took one evening to look at. I'd been living in this little garret, as I said, little two-room place in an old building. It was a nice. I mean, it was okay, but and I had gone to. I don't think it says that in here, so I should give it as background. I'd been in a cafe looking at a semi underground newspaper, and I saw that it was a condo for sale in this high rise luxury condo building a few blocks away. It was only $40,000 in St. Louis, Missouri. It would have been like 300,000, God knows how much out here in California where I now live. And I told my parents, and they decided to buy one for the family and for me to live in while I was there. And I didn't see this as getting me closer to Baba necessarily, but it was always it was a novel thing, and I had always wanted to live in a way up in the clouds. And so as the my actual moving there came close, I took a walk one night from where I was living, maybe 5, 6 blocks to this other place I was going to move to, and I did some contemplation and talked to Baba there, and that's so I'm going to read 2 pages now. I hope it will hold your interest. There isn't really a rational reason for this walk, except that anticipation of the move has me a little jazzed, and I love walking in the rain. I splash in little puddles on the sidewalk as my thoughts, the endless meditation, go on. A person is always the meat in a sandwich, I muse. You can't see the piece of bread ahead of you, the future. The one behind, however, the past, is visible as memory. In spite of recent efforts and improvements, my memories still leave me feeling a bit lost. Is there something wrong with my wiring, my judgment? I've had new starts in life, slate wiped clean more than once by great spiritual beings and forces. I'm more fortunate in this respect than most. But from one perspective, life is very long, as my fellow St. Louisan T.S. Eliot wrote in one of his poems. Within a year or several, even new, fresh pages seem to become submerged in tangles of karma and imperfect responses to challenges. I quickly go over the past 6 years. Ever since my first visit, I've identified the Baba Center as a real-life version of Rivendell, the elven citadel in The Lord of the Rings, a spiritual fortress in a fallen world. During one stay, I looked out over Long Lake and could see Meher Baba's face in every lily pad. That hadn't been my doing, but pure and simple grace. That grace had seemed natural at the center. I see a hand up. I'll just, when I finish this, I'll call on you. That grace had seemed natural at the center. It made sense that if a being of infinite consciousness had walked its paths and sat in its chairs a mere couple of decades ago, then indeed anything could happen there for many years to come. Now, having tangled Rivendell up in the apron strings of my own shortcomings, I've left God to find God. I have to keep believing that. As has been concretely demonstrated in my life many times, I keep reminding myself all things are constantly being made new by the God-man, and all things are possible everywhere. If I continue to put one foot ahead of the other and do my best, this wilderness too will surely yield to a connection with something or someone that knows my name. Surely Baba appreciates my recent efforts to face reality, but more steps lie ahead. I don't really think of this move to a new living space up in the sky as a step. It's more of a horizontal motion. Yet, even it will change my daily habits, the people I pass, the view from my window. I cross Maryland Avenue and walk toward Lindell, the city's major east-west boulevard, lined with luxury apartment buildings. I turn left there and right again a block further east at Taylor. As I continue south on Taylor toward the next street, West Pine, the brightly spotlighted upper floors of the executive house come into view. By the time I reach Taylor and West Pine, I can see the entire structure rising like a 22-story cake lit with numerous candles. The thought that I'll be living there in 2 weeks boggles my mind. I continue down West Pine until I stand directly across the street from the illumined edifice. There's no point in crossing the street and going closer still. I'm already face to face with my future, with a part, at least, of, quote, the other slice of bread, unquote. In Myrtle Beach, getting a house did not make a difference, and it's not likely to here either. Material circumstances don't determine the quality of life. That depends on harmony with the one behind the many. And this, in turn, depends on choices made in the face of karma. I stand there, umbrella propped up under my arm, and fold my hands in my heart. Beloved Baba, I murmur, help me to do better. Help me to live your life of love all the time. All things are possible by your grace. I recite the three main prayers Meher Baba gave to us, the Master's Prayer, the Prayer of Repentance, and the short one known as the Beloved God Prayer. After that, I turn around and walk back up to the corner of McPherson and West Pine, stopping briefly to gaze for one more moment at the glowing building and its lovely reflection on the wet pavement. I turn again, and this time, in the still, refreshing rain, continue back to the Cambridge apartments without stopping. Okay, so that was that. So then, I don't know, as time went on and I continued taking these steps, this was in 1998, yeah. Some other steps, I'd gotten the delivery guy job, and then I started taking a dance class. I found a therapist at the Catholic Family Services with a sliding scale. He helped me to get to start with computer dating. There were all these, and they began to seem like rungs of a ladder. And finally, I got onto I got my first computer, that's right, on my 50th birthday. And I found the Baba Talk listserv. And after about 6 months of taking part there and sharing a lot, because I didn't have too many people locally, and I had interesting little things that happened in my job, and I post. After about 6 months, I got an email from someone who said how much she'd been enjoying my posts, and she really said the kinds of things about me that I hope Baba would say, and I fancy that I felt Baba speaking through her, and we're now we've now been together 25 years and married 20 of them. So this all seemed to actually, and so then I wrote a poem, realizing this night when I was praying to Baba about this new chapter of my life, it just came to gel as so I'll show you the painting now called Mercy's Ladder, and I'll sing the song called Mercy's Ladder, which I won't read the poem because the lyrics of the song are pretty much the same. So let me do a screen share again. And the painting is much more dramatic than just me standing there. It's like I really felt I was drowning at that time in my life, and that's what came out in the painting. Let's see, screen, okay. And this, tell me when you see a guy drowning and Baba in a ladder. Just a second. 2020, okay, should be here. There it is. No, there it is. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let me do the song now. I have to get pick. Okay. Sometimes God sends a ladder into the swirling waters in which a soul is drowning. Its rungs, small steps toward freedom, appearing in the moment or recognized later on. If God did not send ladders, how could his name be mercy? How could we know his love? Jacob dreamed of a ladder while fleeing in the desert and knew that God was with him. In secrecy and grandeur, the rungs go on appearing unto the needing soul. Later memory visits images of beauty, candelabras in the night. Jai Baba. Let's see. Okay, let me take this down.
Max, you're blowing us away. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Gail. Wonderful. Jai Baba. That's nice to hear. This stuff has been. It's a lifetime of It's a lifetime. Jai Baba. Let me get rid of this one. Wait. Okay, there's the stop share. Okay, so. I think I actually wonder if I should close. There's one story I could read and close with that. Would that be satisfactory for everyone? Or maybe some people would like to comment or something after that. We can see. And I may close. I mean, I could go on for, I have no idea how long. But let me find this book and read this one story. What did I do with that book? Just a second. Wait, come on, man. Oh, there it is. Okay. And I'm going to get another picture up here. Let's see, screen. Okay, and then that folder, and then okay. So this is sort of a children's story or a fairy tale type story. It's called The Ballad of a Warm Cafe. Some of you, or one or two of you, may have heard it here and there. I used to do it a lot for a few years. I did it in Mondley Hall one time I don't remember if it was 1983 or 96. I think 96. The Ballad of a Warm Cafe. A cloud walked into a small cafe and said, "I would like a little sunshine, if you please." The waiter said, "If you get too much sun, you will evaporate. You will not be yourself anymore. You will not be a cloud any longer." The cloud said, I'm tired of dark, stormy skies, and in fact helping them to make them dark, helping the thunder's bluster. But I never knew that to change from all that, I would have to evaporate. Dear me, what would I be then? I could not deal with that, so I will have then, please, a small cup of sun. The waiter brought the cup of sun on his tray and set it on the table in front of the cloud. The cloud saw the sun swimming in the cup and brightened. He picked up the cup and placed it to his lips, emptying it in a long, deep draught. Ah, how wonderful, said the cloud. And the sun was very definitely inside him now. He no longer looked threatening. In fact, if you saw him now, you would not think at first of a cloud. You would rather think of the sun first, and then have to look again to see it was really only a sun-drenched cloud. For a long time, the cloud sat and did nothing at all. But the rays of the sun shone from inside him, and he truly seemed a center of brightness all his own. All of a sudden, though, the cloud began to cry. What's wrong? Asked the waiter. I can remember a long time before I was a cloud, when it was always like this. But now this cup of sun is going to go away, evaporate, and then I will just have to go up there and follow thunder in the sky once more and be my old self again. You do help things grow even now, said the understanding waiter. And the sun doesn't really go away. It remains inside you. But if you really want more sun and want to leave the raining to others, you may always come back here to this place any time at all. This place will always be here for you. Well, that is good, said the cloud. But if I get too much sunshine, I will evaporate, and I don't want that. Perplexed, the cloud left. But a week or so later, he was back for another cup of sun. Couldn't stay away, the cloud laughed. The waiter smiled. Soon the cloud was coming in more and more often and looking brighter and brighter. With all the sunshine he was getting, his appearance was changing in a permanent way, so that at all times now you could not tell if he was a cloud or something else. But I'm still so afraid of losing myself, the cloud said again one day. Losing yourself? Asked the waiter. It's true that I warned you about that at first. I just wanted to make sure you really wanted this sun. Now it appears to me that what is happening is not that you are losing yourself, but that you are finding yourself. You are finding that a cloud was never really you, only something you had been molded into for a little while. Now it appears to me that you are on the verge of finding who you truly have always been. One more cup of sunshine, said the waiter, and I believe your number will be up. Well, I can't do anything about it any more, said the cloud. I must have the sun, no matter what. The waiter brought the cup of sun on his tray and set it on the table in front of the cloud. The cloud picked up the cup and drank. He was infused with sun more than ever before, and for a moment the light in the room was blinding. When the light cleared, the cloud had a body just like the waiter. Now you will take over here, said the waiter, for I have a further journey to make. You see, I too was a cloud before I came here. Now it will be your turn to serve all who come to this place for whatever reason, to serve all who come to this special place hidden in plain sight of all, to give them sunshine and fill their clouded hearts. I will serve, said the former cloud. And when we meet again, said the waiter, it will be for all time. With that, the former waiter turned and walked out the door, and the new one was alone. He picked up his tray and, holding it in one hand, began wiping tables in the small cafe, waiting for those who might come. Jai Baba. Let's see. Stop share. Okay, Jai Baba. Okay, I think maybe maybe that's enough for one session. And does anybody want to say or ask anything before we adjourn? Or so Bob Yeager has his hand raised. Okay.
Just want
I,
to thank you, Max. That was so wonderful. Good to see you, and
oh,
wonderful
good.
for your music and your poetry, and what a great story to wind up with. That was just
Oh, thank you, Bob. Thank you. Just Jay Baba. Thank you.
Jay
That's
Bum.
Jay Baba.
Perfect.
We've
Perfect.
all, yeah, we
Yeah.
all know, yeah, the Baba life. Yeah. Anybody else want to share anything? Bob,
I really loved this presentation. Thank you, Max, and thank you, Gail. And especially, I have a really more a different perspective about your work today than
mm,
from seeing it
mm.
mostly only on Facebook
Yeah,
and
yeah.
somehow the personal was really, I feel really, it helped me with my own life dilemmas. And thank you, Jay
Mm.
Baba.
Thank you, Sharon J. Baba. Yeah, that's yeah. J. Baba. Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
say thank you also. I really liked all your preparation, and you answered my questions without even asking. The first time you sang your song with the guitar, I thought, well, gosh, his music sounds so good. How does he get that guitar to sound good?
Hmm.
And then I thought, no, I'm not going to bother him. I'm not going to ask him.
Okay.
But then you went and
Yeah.
you told us. So
Yeah. It
thank
really.
you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I used to go to BABAZOOM Arty during the pandemic, and I thought he had great songs, and people seemed to like them. But then when this fellow Joe Stewart, who was on there, said you should get a mic, and the there was it was just a much better communication, and I got much more direct response from people.
Yeah, and thank you for all your sharing is very nice.
Thank you. Thank you too. Okay. Jen. Okay. I think we can just let's see. I'll do some Avatar Mayor Baba Ki Jays. I don't know. Say goodnight.
Yeah, if everyone will unmute, and I'll speak for all of us. Everybody has been in rapt attention. I will definitely, Angela always has it up within 24 hours,
Okay,
and I
that's great.
definitely want to hear it again. So
Good. Yeah.
I think all of us are going to tune in because we'll get to hear the things a second time, and I wouldn't be surprised to hear a third. So thank you so very much for your intimate and magnificent poetry and stories, and your art. It's just all come together. So whatever ventures you had getting here, boy, did it all come together. Thank you, Baba.
Okay, thank you, Baba. Avatar Mayor Baba Ki Jay.
Jay.
Okay.
Avatar, Baba, Ki
Ki
Jay.
Jay. Okay. Avatar
Avatar,
Mayor
Mayor
Baba
Baba Ki Jay.
Jay.
Okay.
Thank you, Marcia. I see your note. Okay. Okay, Jay Baba. We'll do it again sometime.
thank
It
you
was
so much.
wonderful. Yeah.
Jay Baba. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you all for coming. Wonderful sharing, connecting.
Thank you, Max.
Okay. Here we go.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.